Guys, today we'll be talking about the Wii U. So, I have a Wii U. That's that console that sits right by the TV that I never use anymore. But yep, the Wii U is Nintendo's failed console that isn't the Virtual Boy. And the Wii U was discontinued like 5 or 6 years ago. And today we'll be talking about there was one reason that no one talks about why the Wii U failed. Everyone always talks about the Wii U is similar to the Wii, or you know the you know, or the commercials for the Wii were pretty bad as well. And of course, the lack of third party support for the Wii outside of Wii U, outside of indie games, of course. And Minecraft being released like at the end of the console's lifespan. But basically, the Wii U, I think, failed because of one thing. One more thing. There was one more thing that contributed to the Wii U's failure: Nintendo's apathy towards YouTube. So, Nintendo was YouTube gaming was starting to break out. And Nintendo games are very popular. Look at how popular Nintendo YouTubers are now. But I think if Nintendo never said, you know what, fine, we'll let YouTubers actually stream our content, was took until 2017 or 2018 for Nintendo to finally allow people to do. I think it was on 2016, 2017, or 2018. Okay, Nintendo finally said, you know what, fine, we won't put these restrictions on YouTube. Okay, I think that Nintendo's decision on YouTube was little too late. It was little too late. Nintendo should have decided around 2013 to 2014, when all of the Wii U's biggest hits were coming out. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, Mario Kart 8 came out. Okay, games like Mario 3D World. Okay, games that sold decent amount of copies on the Wii U. Okay, games that sold a lot of copies, especially Mario Kart 8, the best-selling game on the Wii U. Super Mario 3D World sold 5.88 million copies. New Super Mario Bros. U and Super Smash Bros. U. All of the best-selling Wii U games released from 2012 to 2014. And also Splatoon came out as well. Splatoon also came out as well. In May 2015, and Mario Maker in 2015 as well. Okay, these games came out a little bit after Nintendo finally said, you know what, fine. You can stream out games on YouTube. Okay, and this is when the Wii U was already basically a failure at this point. Okay, this is already when the Wii U was well into a failure of a console. Okay, but the fact that Nintendo refused to allow YouTubers to stream their game, okay, and I think the biggest example was some of the bigger YouTubers complaining that Nintendo was taking down gameplay footage related to Mario Kart 8, related to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and related to other games. Nintendo was and what Nintendo does is they just block the videos. They don't give you a copyright strike. There's a big misconception that Nintendo actually gives you copyright strikes. They just block your videos. They don't go through the whole thing. Say, hey, because it's just much more easier probably to, go through all that stuff. Because again, a YouTuber can, of course, to say, I don't want a copyright strike. I'm going to do something back against you, Nintendo. And Nintendo still does take down videos. Okay, for example, videos of the OSTs, basically, which is really dumb because not everybody's going to have a Wii U, a GameCube, or N64 in their pocket. Okay, or of course a Switch or 3DS. Not everybody's going to be carrying around the console in their pockets. And then they can't even play it because they need the console to be open or on in case of the 3DS and DS or the Switch. Why would you? It just doesn't make any sense. But again, games like Minecraft are released at the end of the Wii U's lifespan. I think the Wii U could have been at least a GameCube level of success if Nintendo wasn't so strict on YouTube. If Nintendo didn't police YouTube as they did, which made creators scared to make videos about Nintendo games, to stream Nintendo games. For example, one of the most biggest examples is the Angry Joe Show being basically copyright takedown of a video about Mario Kart 8. Which means most YouTubers saw that example and said, okay, we'll avoid making Nintendo related videos. Yes, there were still PokeTubers and all of that around in 2014, but they weren't as big as they are now. If Nintendo didn't open up as they did in 2015 and 2016, and realized that, hey, we basically made a console fail because the internet could have saved the Wii U. The internet and Nintendo fans alone could have saved the Wii U. And Nintendo spreading this console on the Wii U and getting rid of all the misconceptions, I think, could have helped this console. But Nintendo ignored YouTube and basically just policed their rules and took down everything. Which is why the PS4 and Xbox One were so successful. Anyone who was interested in Xbox and Xbox games and games on that console, well, you could easily just sell it on YouTube. They even gave you an option on the Xbox to sell to YouTube. Same thing on PlayStation. They do allow you to sell your game footage of YouTube. Nintendo only allowed 1 minute clips of Mario Kart 8, and they'll of course copyright claim it, which would discourage people from actually doing it because anyone who wants to make money off of these videos don't want their videos copyright claimed. And Nintendo would copyright claim any game with gameplay in it, which would be a big problem. But because no YouTuber who wants to make money on the platform wants their videos copyright claimed, okay? Because they won't make a dime off of it. And Nintendo took them until when the Switch came out, when Nintendo allowed people to monetize the videos on their console. Okay, I think that's one of the reasons why the Switch is so successful. Nintendo allowed creators and YouTubers to sell videos related to games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and of course, games on their console. So Nintendo didn't do this bullshit again like of the Wii U. They didn't go around taking down every single gameplay or blocking or copyright claiming gameplay videos related to Nintendo. They stopped doing it. They allowed people to post gameplay related to Wii U Switch games. But it was always too late for the Wii U. The 3DS did do well, but the Wii U, I think, was also a victim because of the fact that YouTubers were not allowed to stream on their console. I think and of course I think the 3DS took a hit on this, but the 3DS had one weapon, Pokemon. Pokemon, I think, is the main reason why the 3DS was successful. Pokemon X and Y, and again, other games other than Pokemon were successful, like Super Mario 3D Land, Smash Bros. For 3DS, and Tamagotchi Life. But the main sellers, of course, for the 3DS were, of course, the Pokemon games released on that console. So those were the main games that sold 3DSs. Other than being Super Mario 3D Land as well. But yeah, because the 3DS had a lot of very disappointing games, like Sticker Style, Yoshi's New Island, and Hey Pikmin, but also had Pokemon, which I think Pokemon really carried the 3DS. Also, there was a Mario Kart and Super Mario 3D Land, which also sold 10 million copies. But most of the best-selling games for the 3DS were Pokemon. 3 of the 7 games that said sold 10 million copies were Pokemon. Okay, the other games that sold 10 million copies were all bundled with the 3DS. Mario Kart 7, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Animal Crossing New Leaf, and Super Mario 3D Land. And the 3DS was still quite successful. Even though some of the 3DS games were kind of disappointing, again, you had Mario Maker for 3DS. That was kind of a disappointing game. Happy Home Designer. Like, some of these games were not that great. Island Tour, another one that wasn't that great. Sticker Style, as well as Yoshi's New Island. That sold 2 million copies, really? Yoshi's New Island? Super Mystery Dungeon, that was a disappointment to me, but I know a lot of people loved that game. But yeah, the 3DS didn't really have that many, good games compared to the Switch and the Wii U. And even the Wii U had some disappointments as well way down the lifespan. But again, Nintendo, I think, is making the same mistake of the Switch. They release all of the good games at the beginning. And yes, you have your good game here and then. But Nintendo's just rushing out games, just say, okay, we release these games on the console, buy them. And yes, the Switch is a very successful console, as we all know. The Switch is a very successful console. These are the top 10 best-selling Switch games, outsold most of the best-selling 3DS games. But eventually, Nintendo though, really needs to get the act together on finishing the games, or else they're going to have a hard time with the next console. But apparently, that doesn't really matter because people still pop Mario Strikers Battle League and Masters. And I don't know how well Nintendo Switch Sports did, but yeah. Oh, Nintendo Switch Sports sold 5 million copies already? That's a lot. It actually outsold Forgotten Man. So that people really don't care about quality of games. The fact that Forgotten Man sold less copies than Nintendo Switch Sports really shows you something. So yeah, that's basically about this video. Goodbye.